her life to hijab moral policing. Was Bhagwat Mann deplaned in Frankfurt for being drunk? Political storm brews in Punjab even as Aam Aadmi Party denies allegations.
विचार किए और सारे दे विचार से कि अगर अपने पंजाब का कोई भविख देखना है बनता तो हुण समय आ गया कि आपां बीजेपी नाल मर्ज करिए।
Captain Amrinder Singh merges his party with the Bharatiya Janata Party in the run-up to 2024 elections. Punjab police claims a video leak from the Chandigarh University, 3 accused arrested. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mamata government today passed a resolution in the assembly against what the Trinamool Congress calls the excesses of the central agencies in the state. Now, this comes on the backdrop of the back-to-back arrests that have been made by the central agencies of Trinamool Congress leaders. Even as we speak, ex-Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee is in jail. In fact, a charge sheet was filed today. So is Trinamool Congress leader Anubrata Mondal. Multiple Trinamool Congress leaders have been raided in the past few weeks alone with serious scam allegations against Mamata's leaders. Can the party really brazen it out? And the question here is that for a party which initially said that the central agencies are essentially free to carry out a probe because there is nothing to hide. So what really has changed over the last few weeks, finally leading to this culmination of a resolution being passed in the state of West Bengal? Is there anything that the Trinamool Congress needs to hide? We debate after this report.
The Enforcement Directorate today filed a charge sheet in the Bengal job scam. The ED says it has attached assets worth over 45 crore rupees of the former Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee. Rewind to the 7th of September. The CBI raided Bengal Minister Molloy Ghatak in connection with the coal pilferage scam. Anubrata Mondal, another TMC leader who is now languishing in jail after he was arrested by the CBI in a cattle smuggling scam. As the agencies go all out in their crackdown on corruption, the Bengal government today, under the leadership of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, passed a resolution. A resolution that the Bengal government claims is against the excesses of the central agencies in the state. The Mamata government says the Prime Minister may not be directly involved, but a certain section of BJP leaders have been misusing the central agencies. Despite stiff opposition from the BJP, which called the resolution against the rules and regulations of the Assembly, the resolution was passed.
তার নামে করলো ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট ক্লোজ করে এতগুলো সোনার ব্যাগ নিয়ে এলো কাস্টমস ধরলো উনি বলছেন রাত্রি 12টায় কেন রাখবে এটা তো টাইপো মিস্টেক উনি একবার রাজ্যপালের কাছে ফাইল পাঠিয়েছিলেন রাত্রি ভোর 3টের সময় অ্যাসেম্বলি
The move comes at a time when multiple leaders of the TMC government are being investigated in various scams. But why block central agencies if TMC has nothing to hide? That's the burning question tonight.
So what is it that the Trinamool Congress needs to hide? Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce all our guests right now, let me just put this into perspective. When it comes to the central agencies, the Enforcement Directorate is certainly free to carry out their investigation across the country. There is nothing to really stop them. But when it comes to the Central Bureau of Investigation, we have already seen opposition rule states withdrawing the general consent, not allowing the Central Bureau of Investigation to carry out their investigation. Now, what turns out is that when a state government passes a resolution like this, then there are several questions that come up. Joining us on the burning question tonight is Sardar R.P. Singh of the BJP, Deshratan Nigam, Pratim Ranjan Bose, Professor Monojit Mondal of the Trinamool Congress, Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, Dr. Piyush Joshi, and Dr. Irsan Trivedi. Starting off The burning question tonight is Professor Manojit Mandal of the Trinamool Congress and Sardar R.P. Singh of the BJP. I want both of them on our screens right now. And as we start, the big question tonight. Professor Mandal, imagine a situation. Perhaps this is going to be the biggest win-win situation for you. If you would have actually allowed the central agencies to carry on, and just for the sake of argument, Professor Mandal, and especially what the Trinamool Congress has been echoing all this time. If the investigative agencies fail to prove what they are claiming, at least before the court, it's the biggest vindication for the Trinamool Congress. And perhaps you can go back to your voters and tell them that, look here, this was nothing but...
Hello.
There seems to be some problem with the audio line of Professor Mandal. Professor Mandal, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Professor Mandal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you.
Okay, so what I was asking you is that for the sake of argument, tonight I'm just giving you a scenario. Imagine this scenario. The scenario being that before the court, if both the agencies, Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate, they fail to prove what they are claiming, this is going to be a vindication of what the Trinamool Congress has been suggesting all this while. But tonight, what happens is that when you come up with a resolution like this, you are only sending a wrong message to your voters, people whom you are answerable to, because you are essentially sending out a message that we are not going to allow the investigative agencies to carry on with their duties only because we fear that something is going to really tumble out. So why would you really do that? Because all this while, your arguments, even on these debate shows, have always been that we have nothing to hide, let the central agencies do whatever they want. So why this resolution to begin with?
I'll reply. I'm picking up the scenario that you have just mentioned, and thank you for doing so. Sharda case is being investigated into by the CBI for the last 8 years. Show me the result. Two of our leaders were arrested. Madan Mitra was one of them. Just he was maligned, his family was maligned. He has won election last year. That's your scenario. Narda case has been investigated into by the last 5 years. Scenario number 2, last 5 years, what emerged? Only 3 persons were charge sheeted. All of them are from TMC. Nothing, absolutely nothing was done to another person who was named in the same FIR. Not even a single raid by the ED or CBI. Forget about charge sheeting him. He was not even raided into. And that's apparently for his long connect with the Home Minister of this country, which goes back to 2014, according to his own admission, made on 19 December 2020, the day he joined BJP under the shadow of none other than Mr. Amit Shah. I do not need to name the person whom I'm talking about, the person who was giving lecture about corruption a while ago, dismissing this resolution made by the people's representative as the leader of the opposition in the assembly, Shubhendu Adhikari, all capital, Shubhendu Adhikari. He was charged in the same FIR because of his connection, I repeat, because of his connection, even while he was in TMC, and it is our, it is our misfortune that we could not track this Gaddar, the betrayer, the person who is a traitor in Bengal. It is our misfortune that despite the fact that he explained that he was blessed by the Home Minister when he was not a Home Minister, but the President of BJP since 2014, when he was in Parliament, he met the Home Minister and made a connect, and because of that reason, even when he was in TMC, the ED did not raid him, CBI did not charge sheet him, though the other TMC leaders were charge sheeted, they were harassed, they put in jail. One of them, a very respected politician of Bengal and India, 78 years old man, Mr. Subrata Mukherjee, passed away after that harassment. I made this charge on TV. Another one of our MP, Sultan Ahmed, passed away after this harassment. Another MP, Tapos Pal, was arrested in the Sharda case, the Rose Valley case. Nothing happened till date. So your scenario explain the scenario. We are already vindicated, not just in People's Court in 2021, despite the fact that you had run this narrative of corruption for the last 5 years. People have given us thumbs up. We are vindicated in People's Court, even in the court of law. So far, TMC is vindicated,
Okay.
and this was the fittest occasion for having this kind of a resolution by the
Professor
people's
Mandal,
representative. After all, we're
you've made your
accountable to
opening
the
remarks.
people who have elected us.
Okay. Professor Mandal, you've made your opening remarks. Now, I would want you to perhaps listen to what the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sardar R.P. Singh, has to say without much interruption, because I think so that would be fair. You've been given uninterrupted time. Same uninterrupted time would also be given to Sardar R.P. Singh.
I'm not known for interrupting. I believe in my words. I love to raise my words.
Sardar R.P.
not
Singh.
my voice.
Sardar R.P. Singh, you can certainly respond to what Professor Mandal had to say, but I also want to add one more question. And then you can take all of them together. The question from my side is this, and this is something that the Bharatiya Janata Party is constantly facing time and again, not just in the state of West Bengal, we have also seen it in other states, be it in Jharkhand, be it in any other state, even now in Bihar. The question now is essentially being raised time and again that the same kind of over-zealousness that we see from the central agencies in opposition states is not essentially witnessed in states ruled by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Allegation was leveled against you in Karnataka, but what has happened today? The Congress Party is saying that you called D.K. Shivakumar for questioning, but you really don't do anything about this allegation that is leveled against the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of Karnataka. So I want you to also respond to that and what Professor Mandal has to say.
Shravan, I've answered that on your early debates also, and I'll start with that, what you are saying, what you are raising. Oh, everyone has right to go to the court. Courts are open, and then courts give the right judgment also. The courts will intervene in the matter. But let's understand why this resolution now. Earlier such resolution came into 21 also about the BSF, that BSF should not be allowed to go to 45 kilometers to follow the track of the infiltrators. Now something of that sort has come now, whether it's the CBI or ED or for that regard NIA for that regard. But let's understand why now. Understand the timing. Partha Chatterjee in, Mr. What is his name, Anubrat Mandal, there was no question then. But since the gradually news is tightening against the nephew, Mr. Abhishek Banerjee, now this has to be done. Because, no one should question the family. Our workers or our leaders, other leaders other than the family can be dealt by CBI or ED, but don't touch our family. That's the concern. But all what is happening in Calcutta or in Bengal is happening as per the court order. It's not the CBI or ED taking initiative on this. It's all happening as per the court order, and court's intervention. And what is happening? The huge amount of 50 crore rupees, the document of the properties, the illegal money and illegal properties are being traced during the raids. So they can keep passing such a resolution, but the fact is they have to go to court to get this investigation quashed. Or they have tried their best to seek bail for their friends Partha and Mr. Mandal, but it has not happened. But again I am repeating, they can keep pointing fingers toward us, but they will never go to court for any such thing. Even you can raise questions, but I'll appreciate. Go to court, get orders from the court, and then have it done. Who's stopping you? But the timing is very crucial. Timing is when gradually heat is up on Mr. Abhishek Banerjee. Till that time it was for the other political leaders in the TMC, there was no problem. But my nephew should be saved. My nephew should not face the heat. That's the
Can I rebut?
crux of the thing.
Okay. So both of you
Can I
have
rebut?
made your opening remarks. I would just request Professor Mandal, I'll come back to you. Professor Mandal, I'll come back to you. Just let me also get in my other guests also. I'll come back to you. I have more questions for you.
Just
But
a 10
Anirban wants to
seconds,
perhaps
10
take that
seconds. Can I
question
get
because I
10
think so.
seconds?
Anirban. Okay. Professor Mandal. Okay. Take your 10 seconds to respond.
There lies the narrative of jealousy, the green-eyed monster, Abhishek Banerjee. Look at the lies spread by my friend. Abhishek attended all the summons till even 2 weeks back. He cooperated with the investigative agency. He did not even spare his family. When his son was barely 10 months old, his wife was summoned to Delhi during that raging pandemic before the assembly election. And yet you lost that case in the High Court of Delhi and still they are cooperating.
70-year-old,
And you please, sir,
10-month-old.
do not
What
propagate
logic?
lie about a person just
Sir,
32 years
what
old because
logic?
you cannot find him
10-month-old
politically.
child, so one can't
You
go
cannot-
to
You
go for
no, you
investigation.
lost that
Gentlemen,
case.
can I-
some
You lost that
70-year-old
case.
requesting
member
both of you.
parliament, so he can't be
Okay, I'm requesting both of you, Professor Mandal and Sardar RP Singh. Okay, both of you have made your remarks. Okay, both of you, gentlemen, come on, let's not do this. Come on, let's not do this. Both of you, Professor Mandal and Sardar RP Singh, both of you have got adequate amount of time to lay the base of this entire debate. Let's just take this forward now. Let's take this forward. Allow other guests to also come in. Anirban wants to come in. Anirban and Deshratan Nigam can now come in. Both of you have heard this. Anirban, I want to take this question forward from what Sardar RP Singh is saying, and this has come up multiple times. Because the moment we raise any question about Abhishek Banerjee or for that matter Onubroto Mondal or several others of the Trinamool Congress, the question is that comes in from the Trinamool Congress is that why don't you do anything against Shubhendu Adhikari? The question here is that, of course, if there is any merit, if there is any evidence, the central agencies should act upon it. There is no question about it. But the fact of the matter here is that, as Sardar RP Singh is saying, that if you're so very confident that there is something against Shubhendu Adhikari and the central agencies are towing the line of what their masters are saying, as what you all call it, why don't you then knock at the doors of the court? That is exactly what happened in the case of the SSC recruitment scam. The Calcutta High Court had directed the Central Bureau of Investigation to intervene. So what stops the Trinamool Congress if they believe that they are being targeted? Why don't you go to the court? Why don't you seek a quashing of the FIR that has been registered? That legal route is always available. Deshratan Nigam can also come in after this. I think so. All the legal luminaries will actually tell you, you do have the option. You do have the option of go to the court, convince the court that this particular FIR that has been registered against our supreme leaders, they are completely baseless.
Right. Now let me clarify a few things on the technical part, leaving the political jousting aside. Being a professional lawyer, I'll point out the lies and half-truths that Mr. Singh just laid out. Number one is that all the investigations right now that are being conducted in West Bengal by the central agencies, a few of them are being done under the direction of the High Court by the CBI. That is true. But the ED has not been directed by the High Court to conduct the investigation in the SSC scam or for that matter in any other scam. They are doing it out of their own accord. They have the power to do this. They can suo motu
Anirban, you just made one small mistake. Anirban, sorry, I don't like to interrupt. Anirban, I don't like to interrupt. But only on that count I would like to interrupt because you've gone slightly wrong on that. It is not on their own accord. Let me just tell you. I've gone through the PMLA Act also. Now, with an FIR that has been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation, there is a predicate offence. And that predicate offence basically allows the enforcement directorate to file what they call an ECIR, which is an FIR equivalent, allowing the enforcement directorate to pick up a case when there is already an existing predicate offence. So don't say it is out of their own accord. It is very much a procedure that is followed by the enforcement directorate if the CBI has shared their FIR copy.
Had the CBI not started the investigation, the ED could still initiate an investigation if it deems fit and proper. That is the law. The ED is
No,
not
that's not
dependent
possible.
upon the CBI
No, that
or
is not
any
possible.
other organization.
Anirban, that is not possible.
No, of course
Anirban,
it
you've
is
got it wrong
possible.
again.
The ED, it is
Anirban, you've got it
possible.
wrong again.
No.
It is
No,
not
no,
possible.
ED can
cannot
start an investigation on their own.
ED cannot
They are
file or
equipped to
take
do
up a
so.
case suo moto. No, they are not. They are not. Please go and
They
check.
can.
Please
They
go
can.
and check the
The
PMLA
ED is
Act. And
the
Deshwatan
ED
Nigam can tell
is-
you. Deshwatan Nigam.
The ED
No,
is
Anirban, you're getting
under
it
the
wrong.
finance
My dear
ministry.
friend, my dear friend, you're getting the facts wrong. You're getting the facts wrong. The ED cannot suo moto take up
No,
any
I'm not
case.
getting the
There is a
facts wrong.
predicate
The
offence.
ED can
it allows
start an
the
investigation.
ED to take it up. Deshwatan Nigam, okay, if you don't believe me, you have Deshwatan
Okay,
Nigam. You have Deshwatan Nigam who will also tell you. Someone who's gone through the PMLA Act will be able to tell you this, that they don't act on their own accord. There is an FIR, there is a predicate offence, the ED will step in.
Yes, Shravan, in fact, the case against
Let me
the
tell
you
West Bengal ministers has been lodged because of the investigation conducted by CBI and certain material unearthed there which showed money laundering. And therefore, PMLA Act has come into the picture and ED has started its proceeding. But I would beg to differ here. ED can, start an investigation once it comes to know of the cases of money laundering. There may be a predicate offence, there may not be a predicate offence, but the fact remains in the West Bengal case, there is an investigation by CBI which has given rise to certain offences under PMLA. And therefore, this investigation is being continued by ED, a very serious offence of money laundering. And secondly, the CBI, the general charge against the CBI is that it is, or ED is that it is being very selective. Yes, they are selective. They are selective in picking up corrupt people, dishonest people, criminals, and they must continue to be selective and do not pick up honest men. And therefore, I like their selectiveness. And I am
The way they picked up Amit Shah. Sir, the way they picked up Amit Shah once.
Okay, Anirban wants to respond. Anirban wants to respond.
No, let me finish.
Mr. Nigam, Anirban wants to respond to what you have said.
No, so
Let me just finish.
anybody picked up by the CBI, even without the trial court convicting them, if they become criminals in the eyes of Mr. Nigam, then our honorable Home Minister is also a criminal. It doesn't matter what the trial court says.
Exonerated. He has been exonerated, Mr. Mandal, by full
So
force of
even
law
in
and
this
court.
case, even in these matters,
I just want to remind both of you. I just want to remind both of you the debate is not
trial has
about.
not even begun.
Hundreds of crores are being recovered from your MLAs and ministers.
Can we please come back?
Not from anywhere else.
Then how can you?
Anirban,
That is the
can we
claim
stick
of
to
the
the fact?
ED. Has it been proved before
just
the trial
Anirban,
court?
you tell me, Anirban, not because
That
you may
is
have
the
a liking
fact,
for the
Shravan, that
Trinamool
is the
Congress.
fact.
Can I then ask you this question? Okay, Anirban, this is a question I asked Professor Mandal also. I asked this question to Professor Mandal also. If you have nothing, if there's no problem, let's be very clear. Forget about for that political whataboutery that political party spokespersons like to indulge. But I'm asking a straight response coming in from a gentleman like you, Anirban, that if I have nothing to hide, if there is no problem, and Abhishek Banerjee has been constantly reiterating that fact, then why do this entire resolution business? Say that you come, do whatever you want to do, carry on with the investigation. You will find not even a single penny. That 50 crore rupees that was found lying in Orpita's house is not my money. Prove it. You could have continued by actually bringing in a resolution like this. You are basically sowing in that seed of doubt.
The Trinamool Congress has categorically stated that anybody involved in any kind of corruption will have to fight it out on their own, and the party is not going to safeguard them. That's number one. Mr. Partho Chatterjee was ousted from the party as well as his ministership, and Madam Mamata Banerjee, in the capacity of the Chief Minister, had clearly stated 2 months back that let the investigative agencies complete the investigation within 90 days. Therefore, the ED has 30 more days to complete the investigation. Has anywhere the West Bengal government, or for that matter the TMC, said that the ED or CBI should not conduct an investigation? Only
you
thing
will
they are
dictate
saying,
the
sir,
agencies
if you
how
are
much time they
initiating
will
an
take to
investigation,
investigate.
also complete it.
Man, it's shocking.
Also complete it.
The-
No, you
the-
tell me,
the
sir. You tell me how much
political
time?
parties
10
will
years?
dictate how
You
much
tell me, sir. How
time
many years? 10 years?
Sardar RP Singh,
Sir, you
Sardar
tell me.
RP Singh wants
No, no, you tell
wants to
me
make
how
a
many
quick
years?
rebuttal.
8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years,
Sir,
how many years?
Now,
No, sir, you
who
tell
are
me.
you
I
to
will not,
dictate?
you tell me how
Who
many
are
years?
you
No, no.
to dictate?
One
Now
decade,
this,
two
this is
decades,
now.
how
Can I
much
just
time?
broaden this? Can I just broaden this? Can I also bring in Dr. Piyush Joshi?
You tell me.
Okay, now there is a problem. Now,
100 years?
if now Anirban, you're getting
Can the CBI
on technical front. You started your opening remark by saying that let me make the technical aspects clear. Now, Anirban, on technical grounds, you've got it absolutely wrong. Now, one second. Now, again. Now, political parties. Now, I also want to. Professor Mandla, I'll bring you in, but let me also bring in someone who's leaning towards the Aam Aadmi Party, because the Aam Aadmi Party has also raised this entire question, because now they are in the dock. Dr. Piyush Joshi, you've also raised the same question, that if you have anything, prove it. If you don't have, you might as well admit that you have no evidence. Manish Sisodia, right from day one, has been giving himself a clean sheet. Right from day one. Said that CBI did not find anything in my locker. Now, how do we really know whether the CBI has found or they haven't? The investigation is still underway. Anirban is making this, saying that ED has 30 days. But let me just remind Anirban also. Anirban, you have not seen Republic TV earlier in the day. We have reported the charge sheet against Partha Chatterjee has already been filed. So as far as within doing it in 90 days, it's been done in less than 90 days. The charge sheet has been filed. Piyush Joshi, Dr. Piyush Joshi, again and again, what I'm not understanding is that all of you, eminent lawyers,
This is the final report.
No, complete investigation. No, complete. Now, come on. But if I take my entire show to try and explain it to you how this entire system works, then it's going. I will not have enough time. But I can quickly respond to you by simply saying this: that once the charge sheet is filed,
the investigation will never be concluded.
I'll give you a simple example. I have also, Anirban, I have covered the agencies. Anirban, I have journalism experience for over a decade, and I know how things work. Now, when it comes to this particular charge sheet, once the cognizance is taken by the court, once the trial begins, only then you get to know whether at all the charges that have been leveled by the agency, whether it's going to stand or not. So it does take its own time. It's not something. It's not like a fast food. It's not like a chicken roll that you're getting in Park Street.
The CBI had started the Sharada scam investigation. That is the funny part. The CBI had started the Sharada investigation when you started your journalism career.
I'll respond to that also. I'll respond to it. No, I can only respond on technical aspects. When it comes to political matters, you can raise it. But Piyush Joshi, let me just bring this question to you.
Steal for Mukul Roy today.
Okay, can I? I don't want this only to remain between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Trinamool Congress. There are other political parties who have also raised the same concerns. Piyush Joshi, why don't you come in? Every time we see that central agencies have been carrying out their crackdown on what they call is on corruption, the opposition parties should be on the front foot. If the opposition parties again and again, like the party that you lean towards, if you all are saying that there is nothing wrong, I have nothing to really lose here, why stop the central agencies from carrying out their work? When the Mahavikas Aghadi was in power in the state of Maharashtra, they did the same. General consent was withdrawn. Several other states ruled by the opposition parties, they have withdrawn the general consent of the Central Bureau of Investigation, handicapping them from carrying out their work.
Sean, I get your point, what you're trying to say here. And the Aam Aadmi Party has welcomed all kinds of investigation, but we reserve the right to respond and we reserve the right to oppose, because we still live in a democracy, and India is very much a democratic state. Now, having said that, what I actually want to say that if it was a fight against corruption, I think everybody would welcome it, but that is not the fight is against, The fight is against the opposition and the selective crackdown of opposition leaders. That's why the opposition is up in arms and opposing the misuse of the central agencies vehemently.
Let me
now,
remind
coming back
Mr.
to
Joshi about Asim Khan.
Singh Sahab, I did not interrupt you. Singh Sahab, I did not interrupt you. Show, have some. I think we'll have some courtesy.
Do you remember Jitendra Tomar?
आप बोल
Fake
लीजिए
TV
साहब.
guy. Do you remember
आप बोल
Sandeep
लीजिए.
Kumar? Man who
अब मैं
on name
नाम
of
गिनाना शुरू
Ration
कर दूं
card would
आपको?
rape women.
Should I start
Do you
counting? Did
remember
you forget
Mr.
Dhruv
Jitendra
Saxena?
Jain?
Did you forget
The
Dhruv
Hawla
Saxena? Did you
scam,
forget Lakshmikant Sharma? Did you forget Bangaru Lakshman? Did you forget
Sardar
Dilip
RP
Singh
Singh,
Judev?
just let him
अब ये ऐसे
complete.
तो
Let
debate ही नहीं हो
Dr.
पाएगा,
Joshi.
सब बात ही नहीं
Sardar
हो
RP
पाएगी,
Singh,
decent
just
चीजें.
allow Dr. Joshi. Allow Dr. Joshi to respond.
These are
कुछ
people
नहीं
Okay,
who
one
are
second.
in court
Both of you.
and the cases have been pursued against them.
Don't talk over each other. Don't talk over each other. No one is going to make any sense of it. Dr. Joshi. Sardar
Precisely.
RP Singh, I get your point. The
Precisely.
question here is with regards to other leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders also. But the question here, Dr. Joshi, you need to answer this. What stops, why should the agencies be stopped from carrying out their work? Let the court decide.
The problem
Let the
is,
court decide. You
I
may
agree
want
with you.
instant
I agree with you.
justice, but that
All
does
the
not happen.
agencies. I agree with you on that point. The agency should be allowed to do their work. It's not a problem about that. But how the agencies are working, the problem is in the emotion of cooperative federalism here. Now the cooperative federalism has been taken for a toss, and it is not being taken for a toss by the state governments. It's being taken for a toss by the central government. And we live in a federal state where the law and order and corruption is state subject. Selective targeting of the opposition leaders, that is what the problem is, and the literal destruction of cooperative federalism, that is the problem. About Aam Aadmi Party has always welcomed all inquiries.
Okay.
Even
So can I take this question to Pratimranjan Bose? Pratimranjan Bose.
And we will come out clean. That's the issue.
Okay.
So the problem is
You have a
selective
point.
targeting
You have a
and
point.
destruction of cooperative
Okay.
federalism. These are the two issues.
Same as
we should be
Asim
Okay.
Khan,
Selective
same as
targeting.
Sundar Kumar, same
Okay.
as Sandeep Kumar, same as
Okay.
Satinder
Okay,
Jain.
Sardar
Yaar,
RP Singh,
yaar,
Sardar
yaar,
RP Singh,
yaar,
Sardar
yaar.
RP Singh and Professor Mondal, I'll come to both of you
And
together
same as
once
Vijay
again.
Singla.
Sardar RP Singh, just
Who was
allow
there
me,
in the
allow me. I
convention?
have other guests
Who
also.
was there in the Aam
One
Aadmi
minute,
Party convention.
I'll come to both Professor Mondal and Sardar RP Singh in a short while from now. But I want to take this question of selective targeting because that's the other key issue of this debate. Let me take this to Pratimranjan Bose. Pratimranjan Bose, it would be a fair criticism of the central agencies today that it's turning out over a period of time, it's turning out to becoming what looks like to the general public also perhaps that is that becoming selective targeting. Because look at the list that almost all the opposition leaders are drawing up. Today, the Congress party is saying that why call DK Shivkumar in a case where the charge sheet has already been filed? You are still calling him, summons are being sent out. Pratimranjan Bose, again and again what is happening, the opposition parties are saying that look here, I don't have a problem if you want to investigate me, fair enough, do it. But why only me, why not him?
Agreed. See, first of all, I would not like to include Delhi in my discussion because Delhi doesn't have control over police. Other states do have. Now, here comes an interesting point. And again, it is not correct to put everyone in the same basket. I'm just giving for reference. Take the case of TMC. When in opposition, TMC used to seek CBI inquiry at the drop of a hat. Now the question is, well, they may say that then there was a different government. Let me assume that this government they don't trust. Fine. But it was during that period, if you may remember, that the Supreme Court once referred CBI as a doormat, and they asked the CBI to report to the court. And it was during that period only, that is in 2013, when the cheat fund scam broke out. And Trinamool didn't allow CBI inquiry. CBI inquiry took place after 2 years. Roughly 2 years. And that was because of a court intervention. So the question, and since then, I remember probably only one case where CBI took a suo motu action against Mr. Rajiv Kumar and the Chief Minister sat on the street. Whatever happening now is at the instruction of the court. So, first point is that CBI is good as long as you are in opposition. CBI is bad as long as you are in power. Second thing is CBI, insofar as at least in West Bengal, is not working on its own. Central agencies are not working on their own. There is tremendous hostility and they are not allowed to work. I mean, hostility is established by the Chief Minister himself when he sat for a dharna.
I'm running short of time, so I want to also quickly bring in Pratim Ranjan Bose. I'm really running short of time, so that's why I'm interrupting. I just want to give a chance to also Dr. Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi has been waiting patiently. I'm sorry I'm coming to you so late, but question here is that, as Pratim Ranjan Bose was also saying, that you're accusing the central agencies of also carrying out what you are saying, selective targeting. But isn't it also selective criticism of the central agencies? Because when the Aam Aadmi Party is being targeted, the Congress Party seems to be extremely happy. Congress Party is saying that, look, I told you, there was liquor gate. They are acting on my complaint. So the Congress Party is very happy. The moment CBI is acting against, or the ED is acting against the Aam Aadmi Party.
So basically, if we see about the facts, I mean, from 2004 to 2014, there were 112 raids of ED and around 5,000 of worth of crores rupees of. They just claimed that they have made a charge sheet of that particular amount. Now, if we are talking about from 2014 in 8 years, there are more than 3,000 raids, that is 3010 raids in past 8 years, and now they are claiming, they're claiming around 99,600 crores of rupees of, they have, all the black money and all the, some properties and everything. But actually, what they have got is just 800 crores of this thing. So, where are we? Is it like that if we are in BJP, or if we are changing party from other party to BJP, and we are having like a holy river of BJP is running, and just we dip into it and just we are now free from all charges and all that. Second thing, that all the opposition leaders, they wrote a letter to Draupadi Murmu ji in July, that intensifying misuse of investigation agencies. And it is in a proper way that the sole aim of the campaign to destroy the reputation and weaken the forces fighting the BJP ideology and politics. Now, my question is,
the best person to answer your question. Dr. Trivedi, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in. I just want, because you've raised this question of dipping into. Okay. Now, can I just give 30 seconds each to Sardar R.P. Singh and Professor Mondal. First to you, Sardar R.P. Singh, because Dr. Trivedi was raising this point. 30 seconds. Please don't take it more than 30 seconds. I want 30 seconds of just Sardar R.P. Singh and Professor Mondal. Professor Mondal, 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Sardar R.P. Singh. First you go, Sardar R.P. Singh.
This is amazing when you are making this chart.
Let me remind my Aam friend that there's a big list. Nishar Singh, Geeta Rawat, Tahir Hussain.
Professor Mondal, I'll come to you. 30 seconds after Sardar R.P. Singh.
Tahir Hussain, Asim Khan, Jitendra Tomar, Pradeep Kumar, Satinder Jain. There's a big list. Somnath Bharti, Amatullah Khan. There's a big list of people who have been accused and who have been charge sheeted with a lot of various corruption or other charges which are of offense. And same is case with Bengal. Their two key people, functionaries, are behind bar and they have tried their best to get the bail. They are not getting bail because they can't prove it otherwise. But by passing such resolution is not going to help you. If you think you can probably show your macho image, that's not helping you today. TMC thinks that they can show, they can take head on with the CBI or ED. It's not, because all that cases which have been pursued in
Professor Mondal, is your image
the court order? None which has got the court order.
Okay, Professor Mondal, is your image taking a dent? Professor Mondal, okay, Sardar R.P. Singh, I'm sorry, I'm running short of time. Okay, can I quickly take that to Professor Mondal? Sardar R.P. Singh, you're done. Can I have Professor Mondal? 30 seconds, Professor Mondal. Is the party's image taking a dent now?
Stop your friend.
Heat is on the nephew now. The heat since the
okay, Sardar R.P. Singh, you made a point.
I know.
Okay, Sardar R.P. Singh, you're done. Can I have Professor Mondal 30 seconds?
My leader, National Secretary Abhishek Banerjee, because they can't fight him on the streets politically. I know that. So it's amazing when you look at the data. 570 of the opposition leaders. Please stop this person. Please stop the uncourteous man on TV. He doesn't know how to
Sardar
be
RP Singh,
on TV.
come
I'm
on.
sorry.
Sardar RP Singh, I really don't have the time. I don't have the time. I'm requesting Sardar RP Singh. Sardar RP Singh. Sardar RP Singh. Sardar RP Singh, please allow Professor Mondal to respond. Allow Professor Mondal to respond. No, Sardar RP Singh, please allow. You've got your chance. Professor Mondal, quickly make your point. Professor Mondal, quickly make your point. I'm really running short of time. Sardar RP Singh, come on. Sardar RP Singh, that's not fair. That's not fair. Come on. 1 second. If this continues, I'll have to end the debate like this. I'll have to end the debate quickly. I have 30 seconds. I have 30 seconds. Professor Mondal, please make your point.
Yeah. 570 of the opposition leaders are being targeted in the last 7-8 years. 36 of them are from TMC. Who says that we are not cooperating? You are unable to fight us politically. And now you can't even fight a 32 years rising sun in Indian politics like Abhishek Banerjee. And that's why you are observing. Look at every other word. Mr. RP Singh doesn't even know
gentlemen,
Abhishek Banerjee, Bhaipo. You people are scared of this.
I think so. This fiery debate never. It's always the case. This is perhaps always the fiery debate that always takes place when it comes to both sides. But I just want to thank all of our guests right now: Sardar RP Singh, Deshratan Nigam, Pratim Ranjan Bose, Professor Mondal, Anirban Banerjee, Dr. Piyush Joshi, and Dr. Irsan Trivedi for joining us on The Burning Question.
Fulfill your dream of studying at the world's leading universities, and that too at a reduced cost with Amity's Global Study Program. Study in India with Amity for some years. Then take a transfer to leading universities in the USA, UK, Canada or Australia and earn a foreign university degree. Apply at amity.edu/global study.
The President of Trinidad and Tobago described that their meeting with late Queen Elizabeth II felt like meeting with an old familiar face. She acknowledged that many Caribbean nations expressed the will to end ties with the monarchy. British officials said that the queue for people to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached the final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants. Hundreds of thousands of people have waited up for 12 hours or so in queues to pay their tributes to Queen Elizabeth II.
And in other top stories, Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing has summoned actor Jacqueline Fernandez to appear before it at 11 this morning for questioning in the 200 crore rupees scam. After Begusarai, now indiscriminate firing reported on the streets of Vaishali, a district in Bihar. Bike-borne criminals fled in the direction of Rajendra Chowk, firing indiscriminately on Marai Road. An investigation has now been launched to nab the accused. Mumbai court to hear the bail application of Sanjay Raut today in Patrachal scam case. Accused in a 1,000 crore scam, arrested on August 1st, Sanjay Raut's judicial custody ends today. Akhilesh Yadav will lead the march of the Samajwadi Party legislators from the party office to Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Bhavan today to attend the monsoon session of the state legislature. During the march, party MLAs and MLCs will raise issues of unemployment, price rise, crimes against women and the poor, and the law and order situation in the state. Ahead of the showdown, UP Deputy Chief Minister has now launched a scathing attack, saying that the ones who protected goons now want to raise issues.
And a quick roundup of news in brief from across the globe. Mourners continued to pour in to pay tributes to Queen Elizabeth II in the early hours the day of the monarch's state funeral. British officials said that the queue for people in view of to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants. The Queen Consort Camilla has paid tribute to Queen Elizabeth II, saying she carved her own role in a tribute to late Queen that was her mother-in-law. The Queen Consort talked about her character and passions, but also shared a personal anecdote from the day of their wedding. She also said Queen Elizabeth II had an unforgettable smile. The President of Trinidad and Tobago described that their meeting with late Queen Elizabeth II felt like meeting with an old, familiar face. She acknowledged that many Caribbean nations expressed the will to end ties with the monarchy. British officials said that the queue for people to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached the final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants. Hundreds of thousands of people have waited up for 12 hours or so in queues to pay their tributes to Queen Elizabeth II.
And in other top stories, Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing has summoned actor Jacqueline Fernandez to appear before it at 11 this morning for questioning in the 200 crore rupees scam. After Begusarai, now indiscriminate firing reported on the streets of Vaishali, a district in Bihar. Bike-borne criminals fled in the direction of Rajendra Chowk, firing indiscriminately on Marai Road. An investigation has now been launched to nab the accused. Mumbai court to hear the bail application of Sanjay Raut today in Patrachal scam case, accused in a 1,000 crore scam. Arrested on August 1st, Sanjay Raut's judicial custody ends today. Akhilesh Yadav will lead the march of the Samajwadi Party legislators from the party office to Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Bhavan today to attend the monsoon session of the state legislature. During the march, party MLAs and MLCs will raise issues of unemployment, price rise, crimes against women and the poor, and the law and order situation in the state. Ahead of the showdown, UP Deputy Chief Minister has now launched a scathing attack, saying that the ones who protected goons now want to raise issues.
And a quick roundup of news in brief from across the globe. Mourners continued to pour in to pay tributes to Queen Elizabeth II in the early hours the day of the monarch's state funeral. British officials said that the queue for people to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants.
After Republic's news break on Bhagwat Man, deplaning controversy is only just getting bigger. The Congress party has now demanded a probe into the matter. Leader of the opposition of Punjab Assembly, Pratap Singh Bajwa, has written a letter to the Union Civil Aviation Minister demanding the centre to initiate an inquiry to verify the facts regarding Punjab Chief Minister being deplaned in Frankfurt, an allegation that has now been denied by the Aam Aadmi Party. Slipping into a short break.
Fulfill your dream of studying at the world's leading universities, and that too at a reduced cost with Amity's Global Study Program. Study in India with Amity for some years. Then take a transfer to leading universities in the USA, UK, Canada or Australia and earn a foreign university degree. Apply at amity.edu/globalstudy.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइड क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
And a quick roundup of news in brief from across the globe. Mourners continued to pour in to pay tributes to Queen Elizabeth II in the early hours the day of the monarch's state funeral. British officials said that the queue for people in view of to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants. The Queen Consort Camilla has paid tribute to Queen Elizabeth II, saying she carved her own role in a tribute to late Queen that was her mother-in-law. The Queen Consort talked about her character and passions, but also shared a personal anecdote from the day of their wedding. She also said Queen Elizabeth II had an unforgettable smile. The President of Trinidad and Tobago described that their meeting with late Queen Elizabeth II felt like meeting with an old familiar face. She acknowledged that many Caribbean nations expressed the will to end ties with the monarchy. British officials said that the queue for people to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached